Where do you go to be empowered on a Saturday morning? I go to Empowered Trading, and I saw the title of this, and I thought, finally, he's going to discuss volatility breakout systems and the importance of volatility in the markets. And disappointed that he didn't mention volatility yet. So I'll probably make a comment asking him when are we going to get to that. I like this bottom. They spent some money on this video here. They got this. I don't have one of these trick things at the bottom here. When it comes in, it says empowers traders worldwide. Now watch this font come in. I don't know what that. I don't have the time to structure those little doodads at the bottom. Check that out. It just comes in like empowered trading. It stacks up and no, bam, you're there. Now this is a classic video. It doesn't get much better than this as far as when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And his hammer happens to be this cipher pattern. And I don't know what happened to him or this Batwing stuff. And you know, this is the stuff that happens to people. Say they're losing, and then they start winning, and they use this pattern. I don't really know how much money the guy makes from these patterns. I mean, he'll say stuff like, I made 8 pips here. Now, if he made 8 pips on 40 standard lots, I guess he did good, right? If he made 8 pips on 1K, he did good. He's a winning trader. Like, this whole thing about percentage of win, it's how much money do you have in that account? And there's really no mention here of pips or stops or really, well, he's going to tell you the horror story of him just putting orders anywhere, right? I just threw orders out there. It's crazy. So this is why I'm totally in disagreement with the, just the, you know, if 90% of traders are losing, are we all so stupid? We're all reading these books, you know, hey, moving average crossover, get in here. We're all reading the same books, right? Are we so stupid? Or is this like, you know, I finally found something that works. I'm going to hold on to it for dear life like it's this life raft in the middle of the abyss, and it's all I got, right? So now he's going to tell this guy, there isn't a moment in this video that's not an example of, every time I look at this, I'm refreshed. I'm empowered in the way that they don't realize. I'm empowered by their cliche, and it's almost like saying, like people, I was talking to all these people on these, oh, you know, you got to wait in the voice queue, and then they come on, they say, hey, you know, what department you want to go to? And everybody's got the same thing now. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Is that how you doing? Welcome to your valued customer. Why are you bullshitting me right up front? I'm a valued customer? Honey, you don't even know me. Not to mention the fact that the people at the top gave you that script, and they think that it's just like, you know, the news, right? Whatever people are telling you, you like. So I said to her, why isn't it when you walk in the store, they don't say, hey, what's up? Well, they do if you're in a place where there's real people. But if you're in this corporate shell of, well, this is how we do things, and this is how we talk, and this is just how it is, right? So, oh, very nice to meet you. So you put on a tuxedo. I got married once. I had a tuxedo. I had to go in the drugstore. Let me tell you, people are calling you sir. It's hysterical. There's something about that that's just so hysterical. So I'm watching this thing this morning, and you know, they had their ultimate, like, this reminds me of socialism. Like, oh, well, we have the new, I got in a fight with somebody on Facebook about the educational system. So I dug into it a little bit. I don't know if I trust, right, you can't trust anything. But whatever was on the internet said, well, first we had, you know, make all kids great again. Make all kids, they always had these programs. Well, if the first program didn't work, you're whipping out the second program, couldn't you just tweak the last program? So it'll be the same thing about trading. Well, you know, I tried the breakout system, that didn't work, and I went to the swing trading system, made a bunch of money one day. And these guys are swing traders, by the way, just to let everybody know. These people are late for setups that are going to take you, if you look at their track record of how they call the market, it's one thing to call the market, and it's another thing to make money on that call, because how are you going to get into that trade and get enough leverage to make it worth your while to even babysit or even go care about that. If your day job is paying you X, right? Literally X, that's so big that you don't have the, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, right? It's this thing about, you know, is it worth it? So why does somebody hire somebody to build their house? Because they don't have time to build their own house. So there's that whole balance point there. It's not that you're lazy, it's that it's not worth the effort to plug away at that because you're like, well, you know, and the same thing with a demo account, right? If you're running a demo account, I'm really testing a demo account. I'm not sitting there going, well, I'm going to treat this like real money. I'm just going to test because I got real money on the other side, right? If I want to test it with real money, I reach over and hit the other button. So take the demo account and test in real time psychologically with real money. See, I guess I'm a Buddhist or something. It's a dual existence. You got real money, you got fake money, right? You got your real wife and you've got your girl on the side. Or you got your girl on the side that happens to be a cyber girl, right? So it's not a real, you see, honey, wasn't cheating. It's just digital. It's just dots arranged on the screen. But these guys here in power trading, love them to death. And then they mentioned this controversy with this guy commenting about the DM. He's commenting about the DM, this technical analysis work. Now, there's a guy out there with a video. I can't find it to save my life. The guy says technical analysis doesn't work straight out. Argument over. And he's got one bar on the screen, literally, like just one down bar. You know, just one whatever time frame you want, right? He's like, okay, assess that. Do some technical analysis. I think you can't. Every moment's unique. The next moment's totally unique. So let's take a look at this guy. Now, he already starts off, and I'm going to stop at every point that I'm just totally I'm just like going, man, this sounds like, I mean, it just sounds like, just upsets me. I don't know, and I don't know why.
No. Does that make sense to everyone about why we're in a bearish rotation, why it's not a trend anymore?
And that, without any reference to what time frame the trend's in now, can anybody find a trend in here? We'd have to say it's up in the way he's framed it, it's in an uptrend. So you're looking for places to get long. But anytime it gets too long, overextended, we got to sell it. So why isn't he telling us the trades? Right there on the chart, right? So I would go through this chart. I could probably see 40 trades on that. No brainers. You're waiting for a small candle. Baby candles are different than big candles. And he makes a comment about that big down candle. And to top it off, don't forget, this guy used to trade inside bars, which is the highest probability trade on the planet. It's the dumbest trade you can fucking do. And he doesn't mention it. But he said if you go back, I watched some of his videos. Go back like 20 videos. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about going back to some of my old like go-to trades. These trades are psychotically egotistical. Like, they're just like, you're never going to get filled in the outlandish profit zones. If that a trade comes out, how does a guy still do videos where he says, well, I missed my entry by 1 pip? Holy God. Anyways. So he's, I just can't, you know, it's just too entertaining, this guy. So
move on.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we have no idea what the market's doing. We're consolidating on our higher time frame. We're consolidating on this lower time frame, the 240 chart, right? What is the market doing? So here's what I would wait for. Here would be the.
I wouldn't wait for shit. Now, if I put a gun to your head right now, wouldn't you just buy? Buy something. Put a trade on, for God's sakes, man. Okay, listen. Maybe I'm over trading, but I'm in. I'm in all the time. I'm in something all day. If I'm not in a micro on something, so I don't have any feeling of missing out, right? I take care of that missing out feeling. I got something out there. Put a message in a bottle, for God's sakes. Stop with this. I'm waiting for this fucking perfect entry stuff. We're all gonna go. We're all gonna. Like, you're buying here because it's support, right? Oh man, come on. And ultimate. So they have the ultimate transformation because the other transformation didn't work out so good. So it's like government trading system here. Now look at this. Painfully obvious entry. Come on. You got a buy limit here. You scalp something today. It's a 4-hour chart. You mean to tell me you couldn't check this fucking thing every 4 hours? Hey, look, big down candle. I'm buying that. I'm loading up the fucking wagon to Toledo and back. In this whole zone. Who can't see this shit? Oh my God. You're standing in front of all this money. And this fucknut's going to go on about ciphers and shit. This is postmodernism trading. This is fucking ridiculous. Why does he torture us with this shit? Fuck. Man, I'm being polite in the comment line. You got a sell limit up the wick. Where do you think the bears got their stops? They think it's going down. Oh, they come up and they track it. And they scalp it back. And you buy the doji. And it goes up and you make a couple pips. Oh, look at this. You need an alarm to come on when these fucking dojis show up, dumbass. You gotta trade that. Breakout scripts. Right? Breakout trades. Confirmation on entry. What about this entry, though? Limit, right? Oh, yeah, we're going up. And if you're bullish, how about trailing buy limits? Anybody think of that? It's going up. Any pullback you get, you load. When it's going up that hard, then he says, it's going nowhere. Well, there's a lot of money to be made when something's going nowhere. What is this guy thinking? I almost think he's the road to pay. He's the road to hell is paved with good intention guy. So bless his heart, right? He's a Marxist trader. I finally figured it out. It took me fucking the whole weekend watching this shit. He trades like a Marxist. Right? He's looking for the cipher. He's looking for utopia on the chart. So yeah, it's hysterical. Love him to death. Bless his heart. You know, I mean, the church is bailing people out, whatever. I mean, everybody means well, right? Right till the bitter end of like, they're like, tell us you're going to trade the Batwing. It's it.
The two trading opportunities. Here are the two levels that I care about. I don't really care about anything that happens in between here because I don't have a story. I don't have a reason to get long, or I don't have a reason to think that the market's going to continue bullish. I don't have a reason to think that the market's going to continue bearish. So the two levels
He's trend fixated. Where are we going? Come on, honey, where are we going? What's your goals? Let's predict the market. Why can't we just get on and just ride it? Why can't we just get on and ride what's happening? Why do we have to predict it? So that's the hardest thing in life, right? Because people are like, well, what party are you with, right? So people have to take a position. But a duality, it's not good, right? But if you're going to trade both directions without any bias, you'd have to have a dualistic approach, right? So what are you going to do? You know, obviously you're going to put buy limits down here all week long. Just because, right? You get picked up in the stream. Now, you're going to have to do the math on all those tickets, though. I must say that's not my skill. I usually just run it and see how the account goes, and then I write down those numbers because I can't really pick through a different leverages. So if I'm going to go through I'll just let them stop me out. That's like X loss, right? So if you blow up the account, you come back and you trade smaller. You have to get the size so that when you hit all the buttons that you've left available to hit, or how many times if you're going to trade at the market, you have to trade really small and try to build a position, because you can't just get in hairy. And you'll be right in the end, right? It'll go up, but you can't get in hairy on one ticket. So you have to breathe with the market. And it's not an easy thing, because it's not breathing in any type of normal. Like if you're trying to kill something, you can see it breathing. You can and get like a rhythm going there and say, okay, as soon as the next time he closes his eyes, this one cycle, it's a linear cycle. Market's not so linear on the cycles, because it's in a dysfunctional situation, right? It's dystopia. So people want to put the utopia on top of the dystopia here. So it's a classic, right? It's a classic setup for destruction. And that's why people are losing. And look, he's got this ridiculous shit on the bottom. He doesn't even see the trades in here. How can he see these RSI setups? Because he doesn't have the single mirror. He has got the candlesticks on there, which is another thing that was brought in. I think that was almost the this kind of because it's I hate to say it, but it's just brought in. It's brought in for certain reasons. It looks visually stimulating. Let's face it. I mean, if you zoom in on them, they look really gorgeous. Like if you just take two candles, you're like, wow, what's the trade? It looks like a yin and yang sign. It's very yin and yang, right? It's a black candle or it's a white candle. There is no other. And so that's true. That is but people aren't treating it like that. At least these guys aren't taking the. If you see like a gravestone or it's the size of the body of the doji that's critical to what type of order you want to place, because you can put static 8-hour, 4-hour orders in and literally trade hedge breakouts. So confirmation, they cannot do a kickback unless your ratios are so good, and you can write them like that you'll survive that move. So that is the thing. If you put you put a 3 pip stop, a 4 pip stop, a 5 pip, a 6, all the way to 10. You make your profits 10 through 40. And each entry is a slightly different price, maybe by, I'm talking, when you drill down on these markets, you'd be surprised. You look at a 1-minute chart, you're looking at a fractal of 1.5 pips or 3 pips, depends what broker you're on. You drill down on that bid, and if you have a fixed pip broker, you will know for certain, even if it's a bad pip fix. This is the beauty of fixed pip, non-ECN. People think ECN, all this shit, right? Fuck it. You don't need it, because if you put a buy limit, you might get trapped because, like I got trapped on this one. When the market got volatile, the buy stop was undeletable, but it wasn't quite filled yet. But it had near the entry window of pending. So it's sitting there. And now for some people, they would freak out and call that a scam. If they got caught in that one trade that one day, they hardly traded. But if you traded a lot, you just see, oh, that's a cause of doing business, right? So it's very, to navigate the market, order placement and all that stuff. And of course, this guy doesn't go even near that topic, right? That's too practical. That's too, and I don't know what these guys, I don't even know how they do it, man. I don't know how these guys do it. So lost my mouse here. I don't know how these guys do it. Uh-oh. So I just destroyed my mouse, I guess, here. Oh, I got a little angry. Pulled the wire out. Thrashing around. Okay, so, No, anger's not a strategy, man. So, yeah, let me go back to... At least it woke me up to my rant.
Care about are this, right? Previous structure resistance and previous structure support.
Oh boy, I missed that. I was too angry. Okay, right. He's talking about the big picture now.
Why? Because these are going to become my decision points, right? I know that.
Okay, so can I just cut to the chase? Why do you have so much fucking data on your screen? Dude, that pattern that he's describing right now, why doesn't he take it down to the market doesn't allow you to pick the time frame. If there's 20 pips to be made on a 4-hour chart, if you're looking at a 4-hour chart, why do you have so much data on the screen, man? What is the trade right now? I know you can tell me all about tops become bottoms, and he still doesn't tell you why that happens and how to trade that. And yet you don't have to, you just place orders in there right now, right? What's wrong? Why do they torture us?
If this level is broken and closed below, then I can shift my thought process on what
He would shift his thought process at that point. Now, doesn't that just blow your mind? Now he's going to shift his thought process. My thought process is shifting right now. I'm always thinking. I'm like, man, should I buy or should I sell it? I just bite on my finger, really. I trade. I just think. Yeah. It's a thinking thing. You're not jumping around. You're not. I guess you could be. You could be out jogging and trading, right? It's somewhat easy if you had the tickets ready to go.
What I think price action is going to do. If this level was broken and closed above, then I can shift my thought process on what I think price is likely to do. And to make it simpler, right? I know that these are...
To make it simpler? Dude, aren't you buying right now a little bit?
Also levels where if price action gets rejected, if price action fails to break and close above those levels, there could be some structure-based trading opportunities. Does that make sense?
But you're in a structure right now. So the market's fractal. It's a structure within a structure within a structure. There's a cipher or battling on the 4-hour chart right now. So why doesn't he point that out? Right?
Sense?
I mean, I'm sure that there is an inverted butterfly cipher. There's probably a ciphercation or a butterfly anomaly,
Everything in between, I don't really care about.
See, he's like the guy that says, yeah, well, today we're just gonna chill. Everything, there's nothing we can do about that now. And yeah, life's, it's pretty sad. I got into all this stuff, and it's just like, boy, you're just a victim. There's nothing we can do about it now. Yeah, it's just going sideways. No. Just like your parents. No. You can't trade. No, we have to wait for the setup. I told you, Johnny. You gotta wait.
I filter that out. I don't, is there a way to trade it? Yes, sure.
Yeah, sure, of course, but I'm not a trader. I'm an analyst.
Of course. Is there a way for me to trade it? No.
Because you're not. That's my point! Yes!
Is there a way and desire for me to trade it, I should say? No.
He's not a trader! People run!
So right now, all I'm doing is waiting for a move to one of these extremes.
Hell, I could do that. Watching the TV later.
It's either a retest of previous structure highs, previous resistance up at that DSR zone.
DSR. Is that OT level 8 up there?
Or a retest of previous structure support down here around 123.50s.
Wow. So you just sit on the sidelines waiting to get called in off the bench to go in. I'm really not a guy that... although I'm here about trading, I know that. I mean, everybody's tuned in for the trading thing, but pretty much, just join our live room. Watch me torch you with a Marxist trading technique.
Now, as some of you will notice, right, you're probably saying, well, consolidation breeds advanced patterns. Are there advanced patterns?
Oh, I finally zoomed in.
Pattern formations in here? Yes. Do advanced pattern formations need to be with the underlying trend? Or do we need trend confirmation to trade advanced pattern formations?
I honestly think, I just wonder, when I watch stuff like this, it's like the preacher guy, that comes up and he's like, you're healed, and he touches you and you fall down and you think, are people really getting this stuff? People on board with this? Here's an RSI entry. Seriously, it can't be this difficult, right? I'm going to go with blue color here, but sorry, he's got a 7-period RSI, but if you made this a 5, you see how it's more overbought here, and the price is slightly lower. This is your entry. You either got to sell them in here because there's a doji. This is just how the market's constructed. I didn't make this stuff up. If you have an order sitting here, a buy limit, did you get filled? Yes. So why doesn't he just tell people, look, you have to have a sell limit here, you have to have a buy limits that all start here, and you keep buying all the way down, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. And you buy one here at the market just because you don't want to, you already know it's a doji, so it's a time to put on a hedge. Either at the market hedges or put on stop hedges. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're going to get in a range of 5 pips, now there's a 5 pip range, there's probably a 20 pip range. This is a British pound though. Now, if you put on a hedge and your stops are all different, and so if you're planning on losing half that ticket, some are scalps. At this point, when the market comes to here, even though you've gotten tagged on these, it's all about the ATR. If you weren't around for this baby doji right here, this buy stops are here, sell stops, you don't want to sell stop down here, so you were looking for the smallest bar. That's literally the system. Now, you can write a script like that, and all it does is put in massive blocks of stops. The thing is, you can't let a robot do that. Because after this big move down here, this doji has a different meaning in terms of momentum. And maybe this is a better one to put more sells into. Because anytime the market hesitates, so if the market goes down and it hesitates, you put in stops. So whether those stops are directional or not, that's, I guess, where the prediction comes in. The next price pulse. There's nothing else you can do about these markets. And the fact that the market's scatterbrained all over the place and creating these wonderfully this is the only thing he's got in here that makes any sense is RSI, but he doesn't have the closing price to really match it so you can find the entries. Then when you see the market is more oversold, so anytime there's this inversion where it's more overbought here than it is here, then you're looking for the down move. I don't understand why he just doesn't tell people, hey, listen, just so you can pay for our overpriced course, let me just give you a trade. Next week, and this would be a disciplined trading thing, right? Keep putting sell stops in here and see why you have to have a scalp built into a sell stop, or just get stopped out, right? But just keep doing the same trade over and over again. Sell stop, sell stop. Now you got 3 sell stops in. If you can psychologically handle the punishment of getting stopped out, this is mechanical trading 101. If he tells people, listen, I'm going to send you home, this is something to take home. Just start putting buy stops here and see what happens. And like, oh, look, I was up a little bit. You get stopped out, right? But you didn't get stopped out. 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 Oh, got a little trap there. What if you're doing the same thing on the sell side? Oh, I got a sell stop. I got a sell stop. I got a sell stop. See how simple that is? Nobody wants to think it's that simple. Well, I just kept putting sell stops in there because I know people that are long are going to be like, hey, man, if it ain't going up, it's not going to go up. And right? You take advantage of congestion. Look at this beautiful, of course, this is, this could be Sunday night or something. There's a gap open. But into the tops, you're buying into the support becomes resistance. You don't need all that data. Why all the data? Why the big look backs? Man. People are really anchored to the past. You notice, and this is the whole thing about this stuff. Why people are just, but this is like the most Hollywood. You can't get more Hollywood. It's hysterical. How much money's behind, just to have this font at the bottom and everything. Who's got time for that? Hysterical. I love it.
We don't. I don't. Again, gotta be careful. Some people do. We have a student right now who's testing. What is she testing? She's testing cipher formations, counter trend, and trend continuation. So I think she's looking for specific requirements on when to trade the cipher.
Well, I could help her out. You got her email? Something
like that. So you can certainly.
First, I'd have to talk her down off the OT8 levels. Show her that utopian worlds don't exist.
Use them only in certain situations. But for me, they're a strategy on its own. So I don't really care if they're in line with the market or not, because most of the time they form during consolidation.
So he doesn't care about the market. If they're in line with the market, interesting. So it's all about this. I don't care if that stuff works in the real world. It's just the right thing to do because, ciphers, I mean, it's like geometry, right? That's how you build buildings. That would be their argument. Well, that's what we need for construction. How do you think we're going to build something if we don't have something blueprinted out? Damn it! What are you just going to guess? I mean, I'm just sort of building, right?
So, two things I would look for here. One, if you're looking to get short at resistance, right? Let's go back to our good old friend. The first way I started trading once I got educated with trading power. The ABCD pattern. Did you guys know that? This was the first, well, aside from like a mechanical strategy, the first thing that I tried. Actually, I think it was the first thing I tried after I came through my training course. You guys want to know why?
So he tried the mechanical trading strategy. What happened there? Well, I failed at arithmetic, but...
Why? You want to know why the ABCD pattern was the first thing I tried to trade? Yeah. Because all I had to do was draw one line in and hit the copy and paste button. It was easy. It was easy. It was a keel. Look, you measure out one move. I can do that. You copy and paste it, attach it to another move, right? That gives you an A. That gives you an A. There we go. It gives you a B. Gives you a C. And that gives you a D, right? And all I have to do is copy and paste it and put a limit order at the D leg, right? Just do something like this. Boom. Where's my my deal here? Oh, already got words on, but let's do this. Boom. Sell it. It's easy. Put stops up here somewhere. Man, isn't trading so simple? How do you think that went for me?
Probably pretty good. Because if the market ever went up there and they, right? So you're selling high. Why wouldn't it go good? What would possibly go wrong?
How do you think that ended up? Yeah.
A winning trade.
Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, really bad. I'll tell you what, I learned a very valuable.
Why? Why? You mean this? I don't understand. Am I missing something? What's he saying? That he bought down at the... what's he doing that's any different with this bad shit?
Valuable lesson. I learned that it is unwise to simply trade ABCD patterns or one-to-one measure moves by themselves. So I learned to...
Oh, you learned to diversify. Okay.
I paid good money for that training course. That's what I call it now. Whenever I had something that...
So it means that'll never work, or what do you mean to say? Let me see if I can help him. He means to say he bet too much on that one trade. Because why would he talk about it if he just lost like $1? It's when you really blow up an account that you say, geez, it's not the pattern that fucked you. It's you're in too big.
That lost me money. I call it a training course. Makes me feel better. Instead of just being like a keel.
But why are you spending so much on trading courses? Just trade micro lots if you don't know how to trade. This guy should just go back to micro lots. Start over.
You were a loser, right? It's like, no, I wasn't a loser. I was paying for my education, right? I was paying for my education. Just instead of me paying to be coached, I was paying the markets to teach me lessons. And the market's a very mean coach. So I learned the hard way. This is not a smart way to trade. However, it can be very powerful when you add it to different tools, just not by itself. So I always advise not trading ABCD patterns by themselves. Use them as a clue, add the clues together, and find the best situations.
Very bad thinking. So he just went from saying, I almost thought he was going to say, well, you know, I learned that that's not the only pattern. Let's trade that pattern. Let's trade that. Let's trade them all. Trade them all on different computers. Trade them all. Whatever it needs to make it so that you know that that belongs to that. So when you're trading stuff, you know that that trade belongs to that thing that you laid out, and you just put the orders out there, and you just place the orders, and you say, well, I'm just going to do that and see if it works. The problem there is that if you're a scalper, you're going to want to scalp any market you see. If you're a swing trader, which apparently these guys are, I don't know why they're just not placing orders in every, just going here, there's our cluster of orders, where they're going to trap all the people that are going the other direction, and let's get the pip size right, let's just do the risk math right. That's all trading really is a bunch of boring math and risk and, yeah, gee, I can't believe the market went back up again. It's like it's just big, it's swinging on whatever time frame that you want to be involved with, from babysitting level to check it every 4 hours.
Now you're judging me, aren't you? You're judging me.
Oh yeah, because everything you've said is so ridiculous, and it's just so you're not helping it. I guess he said once, because I was ripping on him, he said, hey, this is for beginner traders. And I'm like, well, why would you fuck up their heads already with this dreamland utopian stuff?
I thought this guy was a good trader. Hey, we all started somewhere. I didn't just start off good. I was really, really, really bad. Really bad. Really bad, really bad. Gosh. All right, stop feeling bad about myself. But you have that option. So if you're a trader looking for an opportunity at the previous level of resistance, then you could start looking to build a case for entry in that DSR zone. I think Max talked earlier about CTS, combined technical score trading. You can start building your score right here. You got ABCD pattern, add your points up for that. You've got structure, obviously, because you're in your DSR level. You got points for that.
This sounds like a dating site. Let's see, she's got, she weighs 115 pounds. Let me write this down. She's only got one kid. All right. Now, that's not really... Is that how we do it? How's that working out for us, right? What? But see, the problem is here is that you got to date 5 women. So you need to have, like, I got a 5 pip stop order trade plan. I got a 10 stop trade plan. And what is the 10 stop trade plan going to be more gauged for? What is the 100 stop trade plan going to be gauged for? I have a 100 pip stop. What can I do with a 100 pip stop? Like, how much punishment can I take, and how would you trade that? That would be something I would use for the news, because why would I put a 100 pip stop on something that's does this speak to laziness? 100 pip stop. Oh yeah, well if in the guppy, right? I mean, you put a 100 pip stop in the guppy and you're trying to make 50 pips, you might actually make your 50 pips, right? So you could put some really risky orders in, like say risk 100 to make 50, but you're putting, and going in you could lose X, but like the probability of making 50 pips with a 100 pip stop is amazing. You're out of the trade, right? You don't even try to manage that trade. You're just not going to come back and say, oh, let me run a trailing thing on that, right? It's ridiculous, right? You're going to manage a damn 100. So it speaks to what kind of trade you're going to put on when you tell me, if somebody said, well, I'm running 8 pip stops, I'm like, well, you're not a swing trader, right?
You can start adding up and kind of using your imagination.
Not to mean you can't swing trade a 1 minute chart. So what you're seeing here could be a 5 minute chart and a 1 minute chart. And you're placing orders like that and you're scalping big, those are killer trades, right? You can hand place those as time's unfolding. You're like, yeah, I'm just come back here in 1 hour. I'm risking $50 for an hour. Come back, you just made $50 or $25. But you made $25 guaranteed, risking 50. There's a higher probability you're going to make, right? The ratio's bad, probability goes up.
Okay, well, if price action gets up there, then
100 pip stop, 8 pip take profit. What's your chance of winning?
What do I need the RSI to do? If price action gets up there, then what do I need price action to do? Do I need a low?
See, buddy, he sets up all these if-then statements, way out what I got to do up there. I'm thinking to myself, he's going back to this, I hate to go back to this man-woman thing, but it seems like that's the only reason anybody's alive is to make more people, supposedly. But, you know, yeah, so I picked out the girl on the internet, got the perfect girl, and then later on, what college are we going to send the kids to? So he's thinking so far ahead. And right there, I'm thinking, I'm getting anxiety because I'm like, what am I going to do tomorrow? When the market opens, what am I going to do? Well, maybe because I'm a scalper, or I'm a short-term trader.
Lower low, lower close. Do I need a pin bar, a doji, a double bottom, or double top? You know, start going through your process of trading and asking yourself, what do I need up there? What do I need to occur in that level for me to execute the trade?
Okay, so that's all he needs. He doesn't need all this other shit. Notice what he just said. He just needs, if I see a pin bar, what do I need to execute at this level? Now, whether you're right or wrong in that trade is inconsequential. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about having a predefined risk. So whatever that risk is, whatever you can psychologically endure, that's going to be what's going to matter.
And that way, you know, we never know if price is going to get there. But if it does, then...
So he doesn't even know if the price is going to get there. So why in the hell? This is what just blows my mind. We don't even know if the price is going to get there. But you spent all this fucking time on that shit. And now you're talking about execution at a point of the level. Who's not selling up there, you fucking idiot? Who, you think sellers aren't going to come in up there? Look where you're at now. You're there right now. There's a fucking doji on your screen yelling at you. That's the only two candles that matter. Is it a big candle and a doji? And a doji just means it's probably going to be a small candle. Now, if it's a huge pin bar with a doji, oh, I'm trading that. Boom, jump in. Because after it's moving like this, I'm not getting it. Unless I'm on a 1 minute chart with my finger on the trigger. I'm not getting in that. I'm buying into that.
You're already prepared on how to attack it, and that's the key of trading. You know, people, I was telling someone the other day, I was like, yeah, you know, trading is about making predictions, right? Would you guys agree?
No, it's not. It's about executing trades. Jesus Christ.
I forgot who I was talking to.
Yeah, okay, make a prediction, but you don't have to.
Probably some YouTube commenter. But trading is about making predictions.
He's making two predictions. Not is he predicting what's going to happen when it gets to a certain level. He's predicting that it's going to get there, to that fucking entry level. God, fucking hey, man.
Right? Educated guesses in the market. And
educated guesses. Dude, it's all about execution. You'll never make any fucking money without... And look at this guy's track record, for God's sakes. New Zealand dollar's going to the moon. This thing's going to hell. This thing's going, hey, there's big up. I just want to let everybody know. Yeah, from your big, giant macro picture. Dude, nobody lives in... Nobody's going to get into some...
Guy, you know,
Not talk about predicting, right? That's the classic, like, what Nostradamus thing. Jesus Christ, man. There's fractals out there. Shit's happening like...
He was like, no, kid, that's why you're a bad trader. It's not about making predictions. How can you predict the markets? You have to know. I'm like, well, you never know. I mean,
well, you know, man, as soon as you put that trade on, you know. You're there going, did I get into, what, is this a good price? Am I in too big?
after, I mean, you know, in back testing, you know, when you're scrolling through data and you'd be like, oh, oops, you see what happens. But we never know in real life.
So why do you predict?
We never know what the market's going to do. So it's all about making educated predictions and putting ourselves in a position where we have a consistent edge. You know, the guy didn't understand that. He was...
The edge is how you get in without blowing up the account. It's how do you get into a good move that you know is painfully obvious. And just from auction theory, you know that, and of course, the dynamic range of this market's constantly changing. The volatility is constantly changing. That's the problem. Can't people see the problem that it's chaos? Chaos is your friend, and they want to put utopian triangles at the top.
Trying to make the point that, you know, you can't tell anything about a chart by technical analysis. And I was like, technical analysis tells me everything I need to know. He's like, but it doesn't tell you about who's involved in the market right now. I'm like, that doesn't matter.
Well, that's true. That's the only thing he says is, you like, stop clock. It doesn't matter who's in these markets. Hopefully the people that are in it are going to take it somewhere in a quick and dirty manner so I can just get the hell out and get to the next level. And then it's really about what is the definition of technical analysis? Is this technical analysis what he's doing? I don't know. I guess it is. Technical analysis is bullshit. You don't need it. You need price analysis. You don't need technical analysis. Price over time. Range. Volatility analysis is what you need. All this other shit. Price and volatility analysis is all you need. If that's technical analysis, then you need it. But this is just fucking fantasy shit.
It doesn't matter. We're not looking at a level 2 indicator or anything like that. We're not looking for volume for specific buyers.
Well, I guess you should be looking at that level 2 indicator. I guess that's what I'm doing in a way. I'm saying just look at the prices, right? The price over time.
The sellers at certain points. No.
But I can't get on board with the level 2 indicators because that's about volume at certain levels, and I don't care about that either. That's the same thing about caring about who's at the party. I don't care who's at the party. I'm at the fucking party, right? So if I'm at the party, then the party matters to me. If I'm not, then I don't care what party's going on the other row, down the other street.
I can tell that right here, right? There was selling pressure previously, right? You know how I can tell that? Because there's a big red frickin' candle.
He just missed the whole point of trap trading. See, now he's getting angry finally. Wow, finally it's exciting. Why is there a selling pressure there? Did it ever occur to him that there was a bunch of orders, there's a bunch of unknown... What is an auction? It's like, you ever seen the auctioneer, he gets to a certain price and nobody says anything and there's that lull? They reach the top? Could this be the top? Now, as far as all his bullshit with all this ABC, boo, ba, boo, does he have to know anything to put a sell limit up there and make money? Does he have to know anything about putting a sell limit in here and getting stopped out? If he put a sell limit in here and put a stop here, he could have sold here, he could have sold here, and he could have rode it all the way to here and bid a break even, and here it'd be totally up on the trade, right? If he sold here, I'm sorry, if he sold here and he sold here, and he's still riding it, right? He's up on this ticket now from here to here, right? So what the fuck is he talking about? Selling pressure is caused by the fact that we just nicked the tippy top here. What do you think this buying pressure came from? That caused it auction, right? You get to that limit. Do I hear a thing? Going, gone, right? Going, going, going. Oh, we don't have anybody down here. We thought there'd be somebody. Oh, nobody came in to pick up the ball. Party's over. Just like here, but this is the smaller version. Nobody to pick up the ball. Oof. Hot potato, right? Musical chairs, right? Run out of chairs. Uh-oh, we got a problem. Buy stops, man. Buy stops. Sure, you think it's bearish? Sell stop. Let the market preview right, damn it. It comes down again, another buy stop. It comes down here. You get filled here. You're short. Do you scalp? That's the question. Scalp out, put a buy stop. You're going to have to determine that by the last known ATR. It's just fucking volatility math. Oh, you see it in the hindsight. Oh, yeah, look at, yeah. See, pyramids do work. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Uh-huh. Oh, shoulder. Shoulder head. Right, but you got to execute these things. Maybe that's not going on. Just pay attention to the ATR and just trade mechanically. And pad your account for the limit order auction entries. Which, yeah, that could have been a guard. He didn't even say, hey, we missed all these guard. Notice he didn't say, look at all these ciphers, and you should have got that check on the thing. You ever take a drill down on that? So you could check out the that bird. Have that bird take a look at that. Okay, let me go back to his rant. He finally got some blood out in his he's probably got some balls there on that. Look at that. I don't need to know because look at that. Yeah, but did you tell people, hey, have a trailing sell stops as you come up into this thing in case you don't want to be the daring limit order entry guy? Because what if that's not the top? What if it keeps going? What is this guy, a girl? What's happened to men? That's much time. Look at the buy limit. If you had a buy limit right at the edgy edge, talk about an edge in the market. Come on. You got sell limits up here. It's coming up. You're running sell stops. Deal with it. Low ATRs. Uh-oh. Gee, I wonder if this big hole's gonna fill. Yeah, that's part of our batwing entry. We're looking for the bat to die. God, man. For the love of Pete. Stop. So this guy...
Going down. That's how I can tell that.
Yeah. Jeff Beck going down.
Now, what does this tell me about the future? Does this tell me that price action will reverse there? No, it doesn't.
I just told you it does. How many times have we seen it happen? Yeah, that's called resistance up there. Why is he can't see this fundamental?
But does it tell me that that's a level that I should pay attention to? Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Pay attention to. Place an order there. Don't pay attention to it. Pay attention to that. I'll get to that later.
It was a weird conversation. I talked to this trader before, and he goes off like, we want to be the casino. And I haven't read that book, but it's called Trade. I think it's called Trade Like the Casino or Trade Like a Casino.
You should. You ever try trading? I don't like trading. I like analyzing. Thank you very much for asking.
I heard it's a pretty decent book, so it may be worth checking out. There's also a good reference in the New Market Wizards where there was a former blackjack player, a former card counter turned trader, and made a great comparison between counting cards at the blackjack table and Forex trading. All right, so potential selling opportunity up here.
But let's not talk about that because that's very dark and dirty, and that's about gambling, and we don't gamble here. And if you sign up for our 12-week transformation, we'll make sure we'll take all the gamble out of you. We'll take the gay out of you.
Here, if you're looking for a potential buying opportunity down here at our lower level, right? We're going to leave these letters up. We can flip it around a little bit. We're going to...
Oh, finally he zoomed in. Well, this will be a lot easier to explain at this level. Now I'm really buying. So I might buy here at the market and put buy limits all the way down and just call it a day. And then I'll see what happens.
we're going to have an advanced pattern formation. Right?
Oh yeah.
Let's just
So it's like we're going to have a baby. We're going to have an advanced pattern formation, and like, so we've been screwing on this chart for a while, and I'm thinking we're going to have a boy. You want to start picking out names?
A to here. Let's move our B down there. Let's move our C up here. Let's grab that.
God, man, back to like C Dick run.
That little D thing and put it down there.
Oh boy.
And you're going to see that we're going to have a potential bullish.
Oh God, here we go now. If it doesn't get any better than this, the old Fibonacci. Why? Another ambiguous tool.
Bat formation. Now check.
Ambiguousness is the fuel for the can't remember the terms, but you know what I mean, the complete destruction of your mind.
Your data, make sure you don't hit the 618. If you do hit the 618, that's going to change the pattern formation.
So don't step on a crack and you won't break your mother's back, I think is what it was when I was a kid. We used to look at patterns on the sidewalk, and we used to lay down and look at the clouds in the sky and try to name the features. I think that's the cloud trading started from.
That's going to make it into a potential Gartley instead. But we have an X to A to B, B to C. We would have a D completion right down here at about 123.71.
A decompletion. Yeah, well, I do like the decompletions, I must say. The divorce part of the relationship is definitely, they say, why does divorce cost so much? Because it's worth it.
Right, look left, structure leaves clues.
Look left, and you'll never do that again.
For a potential bat formation, so that would be a buying opportunity. So
here's your buying opportunity down here. Not now. Later. Later, Gator, based on mysticism and symbology, hieroglyphics. Really, I'm tired from watching this moron. I only say moron, I was just say ignorant. Right? He seems like an intelligent guy, and maybe that's what's going against him. He went to college. You can't blame these people, man. And trade empowered. Empowering traders worldwide, so I guess they have an appeal to international audience, and I guess Fibonacci is an international, or this pattern here is an international symbol, and that's why I guess they're successful. And so I saw here in the comments some guy wanted to join the team. Hey, you guys need help? Yeah, marketing fantasies, sure, why not? Yeah, sure, that works for me. Look at this mechanical trading that he left long ago. Oh, I remember the fundamentals. I remember modernism, but postmodernism is so much better. Sell stop, sell stop. Buy stop, buy stop, buy stop. Whoa, I made money. It's crazy. Buy stop, buy stop. Oh, I lost a little money, but guess what? My sell bot made money. Ooh, yeah. Then I had the brains to look over here and say, you know what? I'll buy anything from here all the way down because I have so much money in my account. Because I traded mechanically, and I traded bat wing bullshit. Now, if you just started sell limits here, right? This is the top. Sell, 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 sell. So I got filled here for the scalp. I got filled here for another, and you just keep on playing that game where you're waiting to get filled on grids, right? Even here, sell limit, buy stops get filled. You're long on volatility. This is my system. You're long on volatility when the market tells you it's time to think in volatility. After 4 hours go by or 1 hour, after 1 hour goes by, or to me, I would see in this 4 hour bar, maybe there is three soft, you're getting a triangle. You could just draw a triangle. If you're trading volatility, I understand drawing trend lines, but you realize when you draw trend lines like he's doing, he's drawing volatility trend lines because he's not starting from body to body. If you just draw body to body trend lines or body to body bat wings, you'd see that you have a whole different, less dramatic, less bullshit view of like, I mean, it makes the targets look, you're picking outlandish targets based on volatility spikes, not based upon the normal mean of the market. The normal mean of the market on the 1 hour chart, if you take out the wicks, you're looking at a very boring thing. There's not a lot of, but you're looking at the price over time. And the volatility over time on a line chart is like just a very obvious. You can also draw triangles on line charts, whereas a triangle on a bar chart, if you're going to draw it on the bars, on the wicks, on the edges, are going to be very broad and hard. You're going to have to go to a smaller time frame. So if you do that on a 5-minute chart, I get it, right? You can draw a trend line on a 5-minute chart because the wicks are now the line chart on the 1 hour or the half hour. But you can't pick what the market's going to do. I mean, you can't be the decider of, I'm a batwing trader. When the market isn't in batwing mode, normally the market's not doing anything. The question is, when is the next trade coming up? Is it 4 hours from now? Probably, right? Now, if it's not from a limit fill where you see that edge in the market, the ledge where they've trapped people, or it's in other words, it's the unpopular prices that people are going to fight over, and it's either going to break out. Like, what's the chance of a breakout on the top here following through? Well, it does for a little bit, right? But there's that aha moment where in the smaller time frames, or there's probably a double top. So you have to ask yourself, are you going to place a buy limit here? I would start here. Forget all this bullshit he put on here. Oh, if it's a 618, then it doesn't see a pin bar. You have too many filters, right? So you're walking down the street and you see this girl and you're like, hey, what's going on? And you fall in love with her, right? Now, I don't know if you fall in love with her, but you connect with her, but you don't fall in love. You just have this relationship. Why isn't that okay? Well, the girl would say, well, where's this relationship going? But the guy might say, I don't care. Doesn't have to go anywhere. But I actually said that to this one chick because you're so crazy. I said, well, how do you see it? Like, what is this relationship going to look like? Like, what's it supposed to be? Is it supposed to be we're just physically involved, or are we going to be like swapping? Are we going to share all the details of our life, or even the like they say for when you get married in the United States, it's for better or for worse. So in other words, are you going to take the losses, the wins, the whole thing? Is it a package deal, or is you just going to be here for the winning? And the kind of dismissing the fact that there's a cost in doing everything. So you can't take that out of the picture. So some people look at it like, well, I'm with this girl, so the old joke is, well, what's there between it's about the price, right? Because if you have some woman that wants to go buy shoes or something, and you've got a bunch of money, hey, let her buy shoes, right? She's having sex with me, for God's sakes. Couldn't get anybody to have sex with me. And of course, you don't want to go rent a girl because that's supposedly bad. But I feel like I'm renting. When I go to the restaurant, I feel like I'm renting a waitress in a way. I mean, she comes to the table, I'm not going to talk to her. So you're using people, whether everybody's taking. So, but that's all comes from the stuff you've been taught, taking advantage of somebody, this thing. But you have to take advantage of the market. So everything you've been taught, I'm a broken record, but everything you've been taught is so unapplicable to the trading markets because it's a tactical issue. It's the enemy's here, now the enemy's there. You don't know where the enemy's going. And if the enemy means what they call the war room, these clowns, if you think about getting stopped out as being like you just got hit by a landmine, but you knew where you were going. Everything was great till we hit that landmine, right? So I knew the market was going up, but the volatility got so ramped up, they stopped me out. Am I going to get back in? Because I want to maintain. If your goal is to maintain, or your state of business, in other words, going back to the business model, say you've got 10 stores, right? Now, you put up 10 stores and 5 go out of business because there's not enough people living there, and you didn't do the metrics or whatever. You don't know if there's enough to warrant having those pending orders out there, or having those businesses, or allocating margin to that side of the market. So then your core stuff is these 5 stores, right? And then you have one that's really good performing, but you take the stuff that's not doing so good and you move it to the other store, or you're using the stock, what's popular here, and now you can balance it out. Hey, that's popular there in that store, that's popular. But you need this, you need a tripod. You need 3 kinds of trades. You need a market, a stop, and a limit. You can't live in the world of just wasting your time analyzing these markets with bullshit like this. You're just never going to make any fucking money fast enough. Let me put I'll put a little disclaimer here, is that I'm impatient as the day is long. So I'm like, let's make money now, right now. What do you got? Let's go. Well, we have to sit down and talk about that. We're going to have a conversation. Listen. That's how people. Yeah. Well, we're gonna start a committee. We're going to. Let's see. First we gotta vet everybody for the committee. Then after that's done, and then we'll have it. We'll discuss that, and then we'll take a vote. And of course, everybody's been brainwashed, so the vote will go terribly wrong. And oh boy, you know how real life is. I don't have to torture you with it. I'll do it.
Selling opportunity above.
There's always a sell opportunity above, right? Come on, can't you figure that out yet?
Buying opportunity below.
Oh, really? So after, and I've tortured you for an hour, but after, this is an 11-minute video, and at 11 minutes in, he finally breaks it down to what we all know to be true. There's a buying opportunity below, and there's a selling opportunity above. First you raise them, and then you wave them. That's attorney speak. First you raise them, then you wave them.
We've bracketed the markets. We've got something, no matter if the markets go up or down.
Now I really wish that he would have said, we bracket the market right now with a buy stop and a sell stop. And that's what I was so hoping he was going to say in this video, which he never did. He's bracketing the markets in a completely different concept, which you should just have limits out there, right? Fuck if it's going to be a pin bar wackadoodle with a bleeding snout when it gets there. Who cares?
Now our job is to do what? What is our...
I knew this was going to turn into a job eventually. Okay, Akil, what's our job? I'm listening.
Our only job to do.
Oh, Jesus. Not only is it a job, but you've narrowed it down to only one job. The whole reason I got into trading was so I wouldn't have a job. Oh, man. I knew this was going to happen. Why does this always happen to me? I got $4,000 into this bozo. I bought the course, so... Yeah, I did. I had 12-week transformation. I'm waiting.
We wait.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's not what I wanted to hear. Impatient people. You don't want to hear that word?
And then we execute. You're right, Lisa. We execute eventually. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I got my matchbook.com thing up. I'm waiting. I picked out the girls I like. I hope they like my dimensions. Execution will be... Oh boy. What am I going to do till then? Just trade a demo.
Yeah, but we wait. Now we wait.
He said wait 3 times.
We wait.
He's even make me wait for the next thing he's saying. Notice the subtle, deliberate, he's waiting.
Wait to see what price action does.
I don't want to wait.
Maybe it gives us an opportunity, maybe it doesn't. All right.
Oh. Well, for the love of Pete. Okay, I'm so sorry that I had to do that. But you know how it can be. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. So he was on the British pound here, so he was on the 4-hour. I just wanted to go through this 4-hour chart. So mechanically speaking, without the candles on here, just the good old bar charts, you can see the trades now, right? And so right now, the market went through a bunch of stuff after what he said. But you can just see here, I just wanted to do a quick perfect girl for you. There's no perfect trade. You just have to do what you've been told. And the market's telling you, put a sell stop, and just do the math, right? And you get filled, and you make money, and you put buy stops and sell stops, and you get trapped. And you got to have more than one ticket. This is based on more than one ticket, and then you make money, and then you're like, okay. When you see this, of course, you've got the, don't forget you have buy limits down here. I capture that. And the buy limits, again, no fill on the buy limits notice here, but a slight fill on the sell stops, a slight fill on the buy stop scalp, but you're long, right? You're long on something now. So you're in that trade, and maybe you bought on limits on this whole thing, and you can withstand the math. Can you withstand the math, right? And I'm going to put a link to this guy's site about trading is just math. I think he says it all. Trading is math. Here's the trap. If you missed it, you still got filled on your stops, and you could be selling at resistance on the clock. Every 4 hours it goes by, you're selling. Very simple system. You can go out here and you can play trendline games. But you can make money waiting for this trend line to break. You could be selling every time you touch that channel. Sell, 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 right? You're buying, you're forming a triangle right now. Can you be making money in the meantime from some other, that's the 4-hour, can you be inside the 1-hour fractals and scalping and making various little, like there's plenty of money to be made right here. We don't need to be looking for this, well, we have an X leg, we have a Z leg, we have a... This is just not going to happen for me. You know, I got bills to pay. I'm not going to sit there and wait for that shit to set up. It's not going to happen. So you want to do the 1-hour version, you can't be looking at this, right? Your chart, if your chart looks like that, you got to be on the 5-minute chart. This is an automatic... automatic top bottom finder, right? See the volatility there? Does it seem like we're in the middle of a doji? If you're on the 5-minute chart right now, so here's the 1-minute sell. So if you're a scalper, you're placing hand placed, and maybe you're not able to get, maybe the spread's too wide to get filled here, but this is where your sell limits are. Just like your buy limit. Now, but you see your stop, when it goes sideways here, you got buy stops here. So if you're a real risky trader, you put buy stop here, and let them take you into like a zipper. But you got to have it so that you're taking money off the table as you go up, because What if that's just nothing but a big fake out move? Even here, if you're right about this breakout, look, I'm making money. Yeah, but they're trapping you. Okay. So look at all the traps on the 1 minute if you're a scalper. You have a buy limit here at the edge. I'm not saying you could fill because I can't see the spread. And this is only the bid, not the ask. So if you bought that, if you sold this, you know you got filled. You know you got filled, but you don't know if they stopped you out because you can't see the ask. The ask could have been up here, and even though you sold up into that, and not to mention you're taking something off the table along the way in these little itty-bitty moves, right? So you're paying for that risk. You're paying for the... This is no... All markets are the same. 1 minute, doesn't matter. It's all the same game. See the trap? Buy limit. You're buying support. There's a half pip windows down here for these trades, for these entries. Now, if you're trading big enough that, and of course, like I said, it's all about math. I had to do the math on that. I did the math. I remember that joke. I did the math. I mean, that used to be, we'd basically walking into this. Of course, there's still, luckily, there's still people with half a brain out there, right? So we have still common sense people. That's why we have the president we do. Because postmodernism drove it off a fucking cliff. But we can still see it show up in music and all this stuff. And so what are you attracted to? May not be the best for you. We all like candy, and I guess this is eye candy, all these Gartleys and all this stuff. So we all like that. We all like this idea that there's this Fibonacci tool. I mean, I can't tell you I wasn't duped into it, that there was this perfect girl out there. But you have to have a conversation with her, right? So that's where the conversation comes in. So they say, "Oh, have a conversation," but you're always... You have to have an ability to have a conversation with somebody, right? Because you have to have something in common that you can relate to, or something you can build off of that you know already to be true. But the market's already telling you what it knows to be true. And when it's quiet, you need an approach for quiet situations. I mean, you know, in the morning, it's no different than a traffic jam, right? So there's a traffic jam, and there's when the market's moving wonderfully. So who likes a traffic jam? Well, that's the doji. That's where everybody kind of agrees on. There's nothing, no news has come out, and nothing's happened yet. And so how to take advantage of these, being prepared with having tickets on the table on deck ready to go for the situation. Whether you're dropping an order on there, you'd almost have to have a nice palette of orders that have various risk and reward ratios and various risk, and ready to go, and have rehearsed the drop, rehearsed the order placement. So you have to rehearse execution. There's no doubt, and you have to get a demo and just keep executing. So you can't trade a demo as if you're trying to make money. You have to trade it to execute. Later on, you could do the math, right? And you'd be like, you know what? You look back and you say, oh, that's just too wide a stop. And because you got in a breakout thinking it was a trend trade or whatever, you know what? This got too wide a stop. Because when the market's moving and you are not in it, you have to buy at the market something to get in it. Like, hey, it's going my way, but I put my stops in too tight. They kick me out. Now what? Now, the other option is to, and this is the waiting part, would be to put some sell limits randomly above where you're at somewhere to pick up whatever you can catch that's overpriced. What happens when it gets up there is no consequence. It's about the math again, about how tight is the stops on that shit, and are those scalp orientated, or are they designed to be swing trades? Like, you don't care. I don't care. I'm barely in. I don't care. Now, if you're super big, it matters. So you'll make $1,000. Yeah, risking $200, whatever, but not maybe $200 all in one ticket. You're risking 10 tickets, $20 each. You're risking 10 tickets, $5 each. whatever that is. So that's the math of it. And the rest of it is being able to execute, being able to trade. Analyzing the markets is like contemplating your navel at some point. It's just such an inward, I love all this meditation stuff, but, people that, people say, how do you meditate? Well, work's a meditation. Everything's a meditation. It's kind of ridiculous. Well, I'm sitting in a room quiet with my arms folded. Okay, I'm just gonna commit suicide. But I don't want to do that. So the people put a lot of, well, you know what you got to do. And I've read all the self-help books. Like I said, after the institution, they bring them in for free. It was like they bring the books in, get to pick the titles. How not to make more mistakes. How not to screw up it's all about losing. It's not about accommodating. They accommodate the market. It's where the market's talking to people and they're not listening. And I used to read that in books. People say, oh, can't you hear the market talking to you? I'm like, oh boy, you need help. And I go, yeah, you know what? I'm not listening to the market because I'm not listening to what it's saying. It's saying, hey, I'm not moving around a lot now. I might be later, but I'm not moving. So there's, how do you jump on that? How do you take advantage of the fact the market's not doing anything? Is it time to build a position? Is it time to set orders at the obvious areas that maybe later on the day when you're not there, it's going to be a high probability liquidity pool or these unpopular prices that people are going to want. So this is where you become the realtor that you buy the my uncle made a bunch of money. He bought a piece of property in the ghetto, and people laughed at him. And he dropped, this is back when $1 million was $1 million, and he bought it. And people laughed at him. And he turned around and he made so much money in that property, blow your mind. So he took a risk, And he said he could see a vision there. And just like if you're looking at a high price, you're like, look at this price up here. If it ever comes up there, what am I going to do about it? Now you don't have to be there to do something about that trade. You realize that. I understand from the person like that needs to be there when it happens. So you say your wife's having a baby. Do you need to be there to watch it happen? Some people feel guilty that they don't. I mean, I remember this first wife I had, we were trying to make a baby, and she said, well, you'll be there when I have it. I'm like, I'd probably be working. I might actually be surfing the porn or something. I don't know if I'll be able to get to on that. But there's that, I got to be there for my trade to... Now, if you look back in the history of your trading, you would have taken that trade at that level. There's no doubt that when the market's getting trapped at that level, there's divergence on some oscillator on some time frame. They're in the trap area up here, say, anywhere on here, right? I'm just saying anything like this where there's this bottom. I'm sure on a 5-second RSI, there's amazing, because it's just lost some momentum, right? That's all a divergence is. It's not going down anymore, and it starts to coming back. It's how big is this trade to you? Like how much money do you have risked on it? So it's obvious that the market reverses. And it's obvious that overall, in the long run, it is going somewhere, but it's never going in a straight line somewhere. Never, ever, ever. I mean, this is the only thing on here I'm like, oh, that's up. That is so up. But most of this shit is, like here, look at, like, just clean up, but up into the liquidity pool and then back down, right? We come, we get it, we go. ATM, right? It's smash and grabs. The whole market's smash and grab. For you to extrapolate these ciphers and bat wings on, more power to you, right? As long it's like what it say about somebody that prays to the sun and that's their religion, and even these guys, the Heaven's Gate people, right, cutting off their nads and want to go to Hailbot people. Bless their heart, you know. At least they weren't out killing people. You know, these religious people love them to death. You know, I know this guy here with the bat wings. He's never going to come out, hunt me down and kill me. They're nice people. I'm not saying, I just want to say they're not bad people. But this is like getting this update from this bass player. Here, how to learn bass notes. I'm like, you know, okay. But don't you want to play your own bass guitar? I met kids when I was playing music and they all wanted to play covers. I thought, yeah, okay. Yeah, I stole his licks. Now, yeah, I stole a few licks. Now I'll go build my own song. But we're all riding the coattail. We're all riding the things that other people have done, because we need to start somewhere. But the ABCs are objective. The alphabet's objective. It's what we do with it. So the market's objective. It's what kind of, is it an ink blot test? Do we put our hopes and dreams on the chart? Oh man, when this thing comes up here. But it's probably not going to go in a straight line. So we're thinking in a straight line. But the word trend means direction, and direction means, you don't see those street signs show you, well, some show you the curve in the road, but they usually just go down here. And then you go down there, you're like, holy shit, this road is so fucked up. And so, gosh, we should have bought bigger tires. There's a lot of curbs on this road. So these curbs, all these spikes, all these stop outs, people are getting clobbered by. Because like I say, we all know that the market is going to go up and down. It's like, it's going to go sideways. We know that for certain. And we know that it's going to move at fast paces and slow paces. So if it's moving slowly, it is sideways for the person that's framed it in that way. So if you're looking at like, no matter what data set you look at, and luckily in these markets, they actually have a thing called pips. So you can tell the secret of what it's going to cost you, because you can see the spread. The broker's not lying to you, although he's going to get the market to go volatile and the spread won't matter. If the spread's 2 pips and the market's vibrating at 15 pips per second, which my fixed pip broker does that, when the other broker's spread goes wide, or there's something coming in on the other banks, it'll come in and it'll just vibrate. So they won't kick me out of my 20 pip stop orders. And if it calms back down, I'm like, okay, it's time to pull, say, a market or a stop trigger. So market orders are like stop orders to me. And limit orders are like, if you place a limit order 5 pips deep, you're saying, okay, I really want to get in this area. Buy one at the market, buy one 5 pips deep. I wouldn't buy one at a stop now because I've already donated 2 tickets to that. Let's see what happens there. And that's where I actually would have to wait. So I wait another hour, another 15 minutes, market drops down. I still like to trade. I put a buy stop in. Now I just run buy stops, say. And I maybe have a sell stop because maybe I put a bracket in. I put like a doji button, hit a doji button, and it puts in a buy stop and a sell stop. And now I just go into buy stop, sell stop mode with buy limits below, and I've just running in that mode. See, it's a modality. So that's how music is, right? There's a ballad, there's a smash your head in song. There's only 3 kinds of songs, right? Or there's like 2 kinds of. There's a ballad, and there's a we're just going to smash your head in, right? So we're going to smash your head in is a big giant candle. A ballad is like a doji. Right? There's if you just had to break music down to binary music, it's either metal music or symphony or whatever. It's something, the biggest contrast you can think of. So once you get that, now you're going to go to how to design your, how to get the highest resolution of trades going, so that the risk is graduated risk. There's no hard stop. There's no, it's got to be like this. It's got to be a Gartley. It could be a butter Gartley. It could be a cipher fly. A sci-fly, right? So that's the trick. That is the key, is to have a multi-dimensional approach. Because everything calls for a different, every situation, like if you call somebody for, they say, well, what's your problem? Let's diagnose it. It's a good thing people that work on your car don't use a butterfly pattern. Well, looks like your car doesn't have a 618 deformation. I guess you're good to go. So, no, the car's screwed up. So here, anyways, I hope that helps. Couldn't resist that invitation from the disempowered traders at tradeyourtransformation.com.